Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be talking about something that's really got a lot of people riled up.
Oh, yeah,
A potential ban on TV drug ads.
yeah.
You know, all those commercials we see all the time with like the upbeat music,
Yeah.
and then they just like rapid fire list off a bunch of side effects.
Right.
Well, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.,
Right.
President-elect Trump's pick for health secretary, wants them gone.
Interesting.
And this isn't just like some quiet little policy change. This is causing some pretty strong reactions.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Even some unexpected alliances.
Okay.
So, to get into this, we're diving into a Reddit thread that's gotten a lot of comments on a New York Times article
Got it.
that covered this proposed ban.
Yeah, I think this really taps into something much deeper than just like healthcare policy, you know?
Right.
It brings up these questions about the influence of media,
Yeah.
power of corporations, and even like how we access information in our society in general.
Absolutely so. To break this down a little bit, RFK Jr. has been pretty vocal against these drug ads for years.
Okay.
And his main argument is that they're pushing these expensive medications that people may not even need
Right.
without actually improving public health.
Yeah. His concerns go even beyond just like
Yeah.
unnecessary prescriptions. He's worried about the broader impact
Right.
that these ads have on how we even view the pharmaceutical industry.
Absolutely.
And he argues that they even influence news coverage,
Mm.
which creates a conflict of interest
Right.
that prevents balanced reporting on these drug companies.
He's even gone so far as to say that some prominent news anchors are basically pharmaceutical reps
Wow.
because of how much they rely on ad revenue.
That's a pretty bold statement.
Yeah, it is.
So this highlights the key question here. Are
Yeah.
we actually getting unbiased information from our news
Right.
when it comes to health?
Mhm.
Or are we being subtly swayed by these marketing campaigns that are disguised as like public service announcements?
Absolutely. So let's dive into the proposed ban itself.
Okay.
This would be a massive change because the U.S. is one of only 2 developed countries
Wow.
that allow direct-to-consumer drug advertising on TV.
Okay. Which is the other one?
It's New Zealand.
New Zealand. Okay.
And historically, whenever there have been attempts to restrict these ads, they've faced legal challenges,
Yeah.
often on First Amendment grounds.
Right.
So navigating the legal side of this would be pretty complex, and any ban would likely face a lot of resistance.
Absolutely. And we have to think about the financial impact, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We're talking billions of dollars in revenue
Wow.
for both the drug companies and the TV networks.
Yeah,
There are some really powerful players on both sides of this debate.
absolutely. This really makes you think about, like, is healthcare a commodity that should be advertised
Right.
and sold like any other product?
Yeah.
Or is it a fundamental right that needs protection from market forces?
That's a great question.
So now let's get into this Reddit thread that we mentioned. It's a lively one. There are a lot of comments.
Oh, yeah.
But it's fascinating how even people who disagree with RFK Jr. on other issues are finding common ground with him on this one. There's a clear sense of frustration with just how many of these drug ads are out there.
Yeah. I think there's this thread of disillusionment
Yeah.
that runs through a lot of the comments. I saw one user who joked about mentally replacing
Oh.
that upbeat, nothing is everything jingle from a Skyreetsy commercial with nothing means anything.
Wow.
And I think that kind of reflects a broader cynicism towards these types of ads.
Yeah, I think it's like people are just exhausted by these slick commercials that promise these miracle cures while downplaying the potential side effects. And some are even questioning the whole idea of patients suggesting medications to their doctors.
Yeah, shouldn't it be the other way around?
Right, exactly. Like one commenter said, why do viewers need to be aware of all these different drug options when their doctor should be the one recommending treatments?
Exactly, based on their medical expertise.
Yeah, right. And there's also a lot of skepticism about how well-informed doctors actually are about these new drugs.
Yes,
Especially given the influence of pharmaceutical reps who are incentivized to push specific medications.
Absolutely, and those incentives are worth exploring further.
Yeah.
One commenter made this comparison between the shift from tobacco ads to pharma ads on race cars, which is such a striking image and I think speaks volumes about how industries adapt their strategies to target consumers.
Yeah, that's a powerful image. It makes you think maybe the issue isn't just the ads themselves, but the entire system that allows corporations to shape our understanding of health and well-being.
Right. Are we relying too heavily on advertising
Right.
to inform our healthcare decisions?
Yeah.
And our doctors being sidelined in the process?
These are all really important questions to think about.
Definitely.
But we can't ignore the other side of the coin, right?
But for sure.
Some people argue that drug ads, even with their problems,
Yeah.
do provide valuable information.
Uh-huh.
Right.
For patients who maybe didn't know about these conditions
Right.
or
Like
treatment options?
Yeah, like take macular degeneration.
Okay.
Those early symptoms can be so subtle.
Yeah.
So someone might not even realize that they have it. And seeing a TV ad might actually prompt them
Right.
to go see their doctor
Exactly.
sooner, which could actually lead to better outcomes.
Yeah. And there's the argument that informed patients are better equipped to have those meaningful conversations with their doctors.
Yeah, but even then,
Yeah.
it's still not ideal for people to be getting their medical information from commercials.
Right. Exactly. Like.
One doctor in the thread
Oh, yeah.
put it perfectly. They said physicians should be the ones staying up to date on the new drugs and treatments.
Exactly.
And not relying on patients to get that info from TV ads.
Right. So it goes back to that core question
Yeah.
of who should be the primary source of medical expertise.
Absolutely.
And here's where things get really interesting.
This isn't just about direct-to-consumer advertising.
Right.
Drug companies spend billions of dollars on marketing directly to physicians, too.
Right. All the free sample, the sales rep visits,
Exactly.
the fancy dinners.
The conferences.
Yeah. So while these TV ads are super visible and they generate a lot of public debate, the marketing aimed at doctors is probably even more influential.
Yeah, and I think one tactic that raises some ethical questions is these speaker programs.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Where physicians are giving presentations about a particular drug to their peers, but the pharmaceutical company is the one footing the bill.
Yeah, that's a conflict of interest.
Exactly. So banning TV ads would only be addressing a part of the problem here.
Right. We need to look at the whole picture.
The whole system.
The whole ecosystem of pharmaceutical marketing.
Right.
To really understand its impact.
Absolutely. And speaking of interesting takes on this whole issue, let's talk about Elon Musk.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily expect him to be aligned with RFK Jr.
on this issue.
Yeah, especially considering their differences on other things.
Exactly like their positions on vaccines.
For sure. But Musk, actually, who's involved with the new administration's cost-cutting efforts, has also been pretty outspoken against these drug ads.
Oh, wow.
He posted on X saying, "No advertising for pharma."
So it seems like they both believe that the current system is distorting how information flows.
Yeah.
And potentially inflating healthcare costs.
Right. It's interesting to see them on the same page on this one.
Yeah. And this also shows that this debate is gaining traction beyond just traditional political divides.
Exactly. This isn't just a left versus right issue.
Right.
So where does this all leave us? We've got RFK Jr. actively pushing for this ban. We've got public sentiment that seems to be leaning in favor of it.
Yeah.
And even Elon Musk voicing his support.
But we also have powerful industry forces.
Oh, for sure.
Who will probably resist any change to the current system.
Right, and all the legal questions to consider.
Yeah, but we need to address the bigger problem of pharmaceutical marketing as a whole. It's a really complex issue with no easy answers.
Absolutely.
And what we've talked about today just scratches the surface.
Yeah, but it's clear that this conversation is happening and people are starting to question the way things are.
Yeah, it feels like we're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
Do we keep going down this path of increasingly commercialized healthcare?
Right.
Where information is filtered through this lens of marketing? Or do we try for a different model?
Yeah.
Where patients and doctors make informed decisions.
Right.
Based on evidence and expertise.
Yeah.
Rather than persuasive advertising.
That's the big question. Yeah, it's a tough question. And, you know, there are strong arguments on both sides of this.
Right.
I mean, some people really believe that drug ads, even though they have their flaws, they do give valuable information to patients.
Yeah, they might learn about a condition they didn't even know they had.
Right.
Or discover some new treatment options.
Right. Exactly. And the pharmaceutical industry argues that these ads help patients to have more informed discussions with their doctors.
Exactly.
They also point to the FDA's role in regulating these ads to make sure that they're accurate and don't mislead people. So that's true. The FDA does have regulations.
Yeah.
But are they really enough? Are they addressing these concerns about potential bias.
Right.
And the promotion of treatments that people don't really need.
It's a good point. And I think that's where the conversation about transparency comes in.
Yeah.
Should drug companies have to disclose more information about their marketing practices?
Right.
Including how much money they spend on trying to influence doctors.
Because even if TV ads were banned, we still have to address the whole issue of marketing directed at doctors.
Absolutely.
It's not just about the financial incentives either.
Yeah. There's also the influence of industry-funded research
Right.
and these education programs.
It's complicated.
It really is. It makes you wonder.
Yeah.
If we need to completely rethink how pharmaceuticals are marketed and prescribed, some experts are pushing for more independent and unbiased research and like a more patient-centered approach to healthcare decisions.
So what would that look like in practice?
Well, it could involve giving patients clearer and easier to understand information about their treatment options,
Okay.
empowering them to ask questions,
Yeah.
and creating stronger doctor-patient relationships that are built on trust and shared decision-making.
I like that. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the big takeaway here is that this is a really complicated issue with no easy answers.
For sure.
We talked about RFK Jr.'s stance on this whole thing. We looked at public opinion.
Yeah.
We went into the world of pharmaceutical marketing and explored arguments for and against a ban. But this issue touches on so many bigger questions.
Yeah.
Like the role of corporations in healthcare, how advertising affects what we think,
Right.
and even the nature of informed consent.
It's a lot to think about.
It really is, and that's what a deep dive is all about, right?
Yeah.
Going beyond just the headlines and having these thoughtful discussions.
Yeah.
We've given you a framework for understanding this issue, but it doesn't end here.
Right. The exploration continues.
Yeah. So now it's your turn to think about what resonated with you. Maybe explore some of the questions that we raised today.
For example, if drug ads were banned, how else could we give patients accurate and unbiased information about their options?
That's a good one.
And what role should the government, the healthcare industry, and even individuals play in creating a more ethical and transparent system?
Those are great questions to ponder. And remember, staying informed and having these types of discussions is so important.
Absolutely.
So until next time, happy exploring.